Alright everyone, so in this video what we're going to do is we're going to set up some bonus points for the wizard. When the congratulations occurs, I'm going to get a bunch of muffins to explode out for him to collect, and they're all going to be worth points, so he can rack up a really high score, because if you defeat the werewolf then you deserve it. So go down here and choose a sprite. You're looking for the muffin, and in the muffin code, let's start with when the whole thing starts. Just put a hide in. And this is just to hide the main muffin at the beginning of the game. Because what we're going to do is we're going to get this main muffin to create a ton of clones, and the wizard's going to collect the clones. But the main muffin, I just want it to be hidden in the background. And then when I receive the message that we just defined in the previous video, so display congratulations, we're going to create a bunch of clones. So repeat, let's say 20 to 100, and create clone of myself. And we'll actually keep count of these clones, because when you cleared them all up, so when the count goes back to 0, I want it to end the level rather than waiting for the timer. So we'll just do that now. We'll just I'll set it up now. Make a variable. Make it for all sprites, because every clone needs to access it. Number of muffins. And so every time it creates a clone, we want it to change the number of muffins by 1. So now the real thing is what happens when a clone comes into existence. So when I start as clone, well, the first thing I want is to make it wait just a tiny little brief fraction of a second. And that's so that the muffins seem to be coming out sequentially. They don't all come out at once. And then we will make a block, set up muffin, and we'll call that here. So the next thing that happens when you start as a clone is you set yourself up. So to set up, really what I want to know is I want to set the size, and I want to set the direction it's facing. But I also want to set the movement style so that it doesn't turn upside down. So set rotation style left, right, and then control if then else. And we'll just do a 50-50 chance of it facing left or facing right. So if pick random 0 to 1 equals 0, then point in direction 90. Otherwise, point in direction negative 90. And let's not forget to change the size. Make it about 40, I think. And then finally, for this video, we want to create a block called launch from bones, because it's going to seem like it's coming out of all these muffins are coming out of the defeated wretch. And so we're going to call that here, because that's the next thing that the clone does, is it launches itself from the bones. And to launch itself from the bones, first it has to go to the bones. So go to, well, the name of the bones officially is the spirit, because we handle both the bones and the spirit in the same sprite. So go to the spirit. Now once you reach that, you can show yourself. And then I want it to move out at a certain pace that makes it look kind of natural. So I'm going to make a variable to represent the momentum of its movement. It's for this sprite only, and call it muffin momentum. So we'll start off by setting that, and this is going to be set differently for each muffin, so it has its own muffin momentum. And we'll make it pick random, I at least want it to be 10, and then I want it to be able to go maybe 50. I might change that, I'm not sure. And then I want it to do lots of little movements. How many little movements? Well, we'll make that random as well. So between 10 and 40 little movements, and if it hits the edge, I want it to bounce, so we'll use this thing that we use with the lightning. So now, firstly we want the up movement, so change Y by the muffin momentum. But I'm just going to take a little bit off the muffin momentum, so that what happens is, when muffin momentum gets low enough, it actually starts moving down instead of up. So at first it's going to go up, but then it's going to go down. I'll show you what I mean. So if I grab a change muffin momentum by -1, and you can see what's going to happen, right? Suppose you have a muffin momentum of 10, then at first you're changing Y by 10 minus 5, which is 5, so you're moving it up by 5. But then muffin momentum goes down by 1, so the next thing you only move it up by 9 minus 5, so you only move it up by 4. Then -1 again, so next time it's going to be 8 minus 5, which is 3. Eventually it'll be 5 minus 5, which is 0, so it'll kind of come to a peak. And then after that, it'll be 4 minus 5, which is -1. Well, when it moves -1, it moves down. So it's going to go up, 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 and then down, 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 down. That's what we're doing here. And also, just moving the direction you're facing, which is either left or right. Just do that the same amount, the muffin momentum amount. Okay, let's give that a shot. Okay, I'm going to cheat. there's lots of muffins to pick up. Now they're all collecting at the edges. They're not bouncing very well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do a trick from earlier where I'm going to make the longest distance not as long as often. So if I put in a 20 here to 50, then sometimes it'll be picking random between 10 and 50, but sometimes it'll only be picking random between 10 and 20, and sometimes it'll only be picking random between 10 and 30. So it's not going to be 50 as often when I do that. So hopefully that'll distribute them a little better. Yeah, that looks like a better distribution. Okay, we'll leave it there and I'll see you in the next video.